What is up, everybody? This is Aaron Hass, the host of the Loveworks podcast, and I've got a couple of disclaimers before we even start the episode. Yes, a couple of disclaimers before we even start the episode. Disclaimer number one, we cover some super sensitive topics in this episode. So maybe you're a mom and you're listening with your 8-year-old son right now, and you're thinking, oh no, I don't know if I want my son to listen to this episode. This might be the episode that you just choose to listen to first, and then you decide after the fact if you would like Lil Johnny to listen to the episode with you. And you may listen through and be like, yeah, Lil Johnny, I'd love for you to listen to this with me. Or you might get to the end and be like, thank God. Disclaimer number two. We had a ton of audio glitches in this episode, and I take full responsibility for that. I'm a perfectionist. I like audio to sound crisp. I like it to sound clean. I like things to sound good. But I made a mistake before we even started recording, to which didn't allow me to edit the audio properly. So I believe this episode is so impactful, so powerful, and will change your life. So I decided to not even scrap the episode. So I want us to continue to listen to this episode. And this is my challenge for you. If you choose to start this episode, no matter the audio difficulties, I challenge you to finish it. Do not stop midway through. Listen from beginning to end. That is my challenge for you, because I believe you will walk out saying, I can now love people all across this world way better, and your heart will be softened. Would you take that challenge? Or if you can't accept that challenge, maybe you stop listening right now. The episode begins in 3, in 2, in 1. What is up, everybody? This is Aaron Hass, and this is the Loveworks podcast. This is a good episode. I've got a good guest here, a special guest, a guest that hasn't been on yet, a new guest, some may say, a new friend of mine, a friend of mine for about 6 months now, maybe more, maybe less. I think I'm better friends with her child, though. Her child's name goes by the name Lincoln Patrick. He knows it well. He also knows some other people's names well. But this guest, she's got a lot of personality. She's got a great story. It's impactful. She's fun. She's an incredible mother. She's incredible with kids. She's incredible with my child that I don't have. I could have one, though, but I don't. She's great. And she goes by the name Marissa Gibson. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
That's good. I'm doing well. I'm having a good day. I'm glad that you're on this episode.
I'm very excited.
Yeah, I'm excited for you. So, Marissa, let's just kind of like tell me a little bit about yourself, just like random things, that people don't know you,
All right. I'm 22. I have a 2-year-old.
Come on.
I'm the oldest of 6 girls.
Oh, wow. Do you like that?
Yes.
Really?
I do.
Do you like that you're the oldest, or do you like that you're with 6 girls, or both?
I like that I'm the oldest, yeah.
Yeah.
I get to teach them in like certain ways, like how to do things, like you're the oldest.
Did they actually listen and learn, or were they?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Yeah, because I know that anything that my brothers and stuff told me, or my sisters told me, I didn't care.
Yeah.
They could be telling me the most like logical and informational, like whatever it may be that's gonna help me in life. Nah, dude. If they said it, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
They'd be like, Aaron, your feet stink, and I'm like, okay. Like it was like I should be taking this as important and like something that would be beneficial to me,
Yeah.
but no, I don't care. I didn't care at all. Yeah. All right. So you're the oldest of 6 kids. What else?
My favorite sports are is softball and volleyball.
Okay.
I was a salutatorian,
So
my
you,
graduating
so
class.
you almost were super smart,
Yeah.
but you were that's super smart. I was 6th in my class, so that's pretty good.
Oh, my class was online with 15 people, so
Yeah, there was only 6 people in my class.
okay.
Yeah, yeah, there was 6 people, and one of them he was special needs, so it was like I didn't even have better grades than him. It's unfortunate. He was a good guy though. Yeah. So, yeah, so I'm excited that you're on this episode. We've kind of like just talked some, and I remember when we first started talking, and your authenticity is just unmatched. I feel like, and it shows in how you lead and love people. Because I feel like for you to be a good leader, that requires you to be authentic and real and vulnerable. And vulnerability is important to me. I mean, I remember we were talking, and you just started sharing some of your story, and I was like, "Goodness gracious, this is impactful. This needs to be heard." And I remember when I started this podcast, I was brainstorming on people that I wanted to have on, and I was like, "Boom, she's one of them." So here you are. You're on an episode, and this is going to be an awesome episode.
It is. I'm very honored.
Yeah. Oh, honored. That's crazy. Hey, I'll take it. Hey, I'll take honored. I'll take it. I'll take it. Yeah, so all right, so you're a mom to Lincoln Patrick, he is one of the funniest kids in the world.
He is very funny. He has a personality that it just goes beyond and above.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's very smart. He's very loving. Crazy.
indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. You sent me a video because y'all were listening to the podcast, so shout out to
Yep.
that. And as you were listening to it, you like shot me a video of him talking to the television screen.
Yes.
And I think he was saying like, "Aaron, want to play toys?" And
Yes.
I was like,
He
"Oh
did
man."
that for like 5 minutes straight. And I was like, dude, Aaron, no. Like, he can't come over.
I would, dude. I would go play toys with him fast.
I'm like, Aaron's not here. Like, we're just listening to his podcast.
Dude, I would love for I would that's so funny to me. I think about that so much. If I don't have any other inspiring moments for this podcast, that alone is gonna fuel me for the rest of these episodes. Yeah, so did you like school? You said you were salutatorian. Did you enjoy school?
I did. I really did. I had friends. Through my high school year, we went to a private school.
Okay.
It was very, very strict.
Did you get in trouble a lot?
I did.
I feel like a lot of these private schools they breed thugs, man. They really do.
It was the boys liked the girls a lot, and so that got us all in trouble and stuff. And but like
Yeah.
my best friend, her grandma was the principal, and so like she helped me cheat on a test. Like she would tell me the answers because English is just not my subject.
That's crazy. Yeah, I just was good at just cheating, but I didn't have to have help.
I cheated on exam and got 100%. No one thought it was suspicious.
How do you cheat on an exam?
So I was in a corner and I had the test answers right here and I had the test right here and it was just flipping, marking them down.
Oh, when you said exam, I don't know what happened in my brain, but I thought that was like a paper. So shows what I know. Yeah, I cheated on an exam one time. One time I actually stole the exam the day before I was supposed to take it. And this was like a make or break for me in school. And the day before, my teacher, she left the classroom. Everybody had left the classroom. It's just me in there. And I'm like, now's my time to shine. Because if I didn't pass this exam, I was failing this class.
Oh, geez.
I think I had to have like an A or a B on it. And so it was our final exam. And so I go into the classroom. I see the exam on her desk. I take one of the copies of it. I go online. I fill out all the answers online the night before. I go into class the next day. As she passes out the test, I take it. Everybody else is like, I'm like kind of goofing off, pretending to do answers and
Yeah.
stuff. And I take the test. I switch it out from my backpack when nobody else is looking, when she's not looking. Switch it out from my backpack real quick, and then turn in the test. And hey, I passed that class. I passed that class. I
That's
apologized to her.
sneaky.
Yeah, it was sneaky. It was a few years later, like after I graduated, I went back to her and I was like, "Listen, I'm sorry, you know, but hey, too late
At least you
now."
did the pass your class,
Yeah,
so
yeah. So if Hillary Hale, if you're listening, I'm sorry. I am. Actually, I really did. I reached out to her later on. And I was like, listen, I just felt bad about. For some reason, it hit me. I felt bad about it. I was like, now's my time to apologize. So
yeah, no, I haven't told nobody about the cheat on exams, but
now you have. What was that teacher's name?
Barbara Vincent.
Oh yeah, Barbara Benson. If you're listening to this, we got a cheater, pumpkin eater up in here. You know. So yeah, you better go back and take that grade away, and then let her fail that class. They actually put me in a special needs math class once because I wish I was joking. I didn't know how to do math, so unfortunately, when you don't know how to do math and you're in 10th grade, you go to the special needs math class.
Actually, in 6th grade, I got a 115% in math, and they put me in advanced math for 7th grade. And I was failing. It was so hard. And the teacher in front of the whole class looked at me and was all like, "Why are you in this class?" I'm like, "Because I like a challenge." Like, they didn't tell me advanced math was going to be this hard.
Yeah, they didn't tell me that I was gonna look like an idiot.
Yeah.
That's good. Um, yeah, you got like a favorite movie or something. Like if you had like a movie that you're like, man, I kind of relate to this movie. You got a movie like that?
Honestly, I don't know.
Okay.
But just in favorite movie in general is between War Room and Courageous.
Oh, so you like the Christian movies?
I love them.
Yeah, I don't. I don't do that. This question hit me. So I've been sick these past couple days, and when you're sick, you're just laying on the couch, and you might even hear it in my voice. I might just be like groggy and stuff. So if you're listening to this and you're like, Aaron sounds extra southern today, it's because I got mucus all built up in my nose. So I was thinking about this. Do you believe in like conspiracy theories? So like when I was sick, I was just laying on the couch, and when you're laying on the couch, you just be scrolling online, and you just be catching like you start learning things that you feel like you shouldn't be learning. And I kind of got on this tangent where I was wondering if 9/11 even, like, I'm thinking America might have something to do with that. That's what I'm thinking. I'm just saying, I don't know if that even matters to anybody, but I was laying here and I was like, I don't know about all this. I think we got too much control for people to be thinking that this is just
See,
that.
I don't know if I do because a lot of them, as I said, they're just theories. But if you can prove a conspiracy theory, I think that would be more where I'd be like, okay, no, I believe in them.
Well, then it's just a fact.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's true.
That is true. Yeah. So let's hear. Like I mentioned before, you've got an impactful story. Um, it's raw and it's real and it is uh
Yeah.
it's gonna change people's lives, and I believe that your story is gonna set somebody's life free as
Yeah.
they listen to this. So let's hear some of it. Like talk me through like Marissa as a kid up until now.
Okay. Well, I grew up in foster care. My sister Carly, who serves on the worship team, she is my real sister. We're
Yeah.
actually half sisters.
Yeah, we go to church together. So I met Marissa when I moved up north, and I found a church called Relevant Church. It's the greatest church in the world, and met Marissa there. We connected, and that's how I heard her story.
Yep.
And Carly's on the worship team. I gotta have her on at some point. That would be awesome. Um, but yeah, it's if you're ever in near the South Bend area, look up Relevant Church. Come on, pull
It's the
on
place to
by.
be.
It's the place to be. Anyway,
So my mom and dad got us. It was three of us. It's me, Carly, and then my sister Jenna, and they got us overnight. My mom said it feels like she got triplets just overnight.
dang.
Yeah. And so we grew up. I was 5 years old, and then we got adopted when I was 8. And I grew up as a PK, a
Right.
pastor's kid. And so we really just did church
Yeah.
all long as I can remember, all the
Wow.
way up until I was 18. So, um, but going into my teenage years, um, we worked a lot. Like my church the organization, we ran youth camps, we ran kids stuff, we ran youth events, and so we spent most of our time on the campgrounds and all that,
Yeah.
running camps and stuff like that. And
Because your dad's a pastor, right?
yes, so he was actually called the district youth director.
Okay, so
And
that's a
so
fancy title.
yes, for the Pentecostal Church of God. So he was actually in charge of 70 churches in Michigan.
Dang.
So there was an office held in St. John's, Michigan,
Okay.
and we were there for 4 years. So
Wow.
they had a house like already for us. Like we didn't pay for anything. It was with the
Wow.
building.
Okay, so you're a pastor's kid. I wanna hone in on this for a second. Growing up as a pastor's kid, there's like this stipulation where it's like, man, it's like you're either like going crazy in life or it's really
Yeah,
tough and you have to struggle with that image. Did you ever
yes,
feel like you had to put on maybe a face or a front for that?
absolutely.
Really? What did that
Yeah.
look like?
Um, I mean, you just it actually is honestly really tough because people look at pastors' kids and think that they have to act a certain way,
Right.
like they aren't human, and like
Mm,
we like the kids make mistakes,
yeah.
and so we always had to put on this big old smile, until we got home.
Wow.
So
That's tough.
yeah.
So keep going. Keep telling me some more of this. This is good.
So I'm just gonna hop into the story. So during my teenage years, my dad sexually molested me,
Wow.
and I kept it a secret for 2 years, a little over 2 years.
Yeah.
And I got my phone just taken away. This was like January, around that time of 2020. And I just started to act out real bad, like really bad. And my mom,
I'm sorry, I'm cutting you off. I'm
no, you're
asking
right.
questions because I want to. I'm engaged in this. Um, so you got your phone taken away. Did you get your phone taken away? Do you think for reasons for what your father did?
No, I got my phone taken away because of a boy.
Oh,
So
happens.
yeah, because he was 19 and I was 17.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah.
yeah, now and I was mad. So
That I get that. Whenever your parents like do something like that, you get your like when you feel like you know better.
yeah, that was
That's
me.
always what
I
happens.
was a troubled teen. Like
Yeah.
I was a very troubled teen, and now like being older and looking back, like I'm like, geez, mom, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like I wish I would have done better.
Mm,
And it's not just done better on me. Like I have little sisters who look up to me,
yeah.
and they've seen the way that I've act. And now my little sisters are acting out,
Yeah.
and so it's like you know, it definitely reflects.
I get that. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's impactful. Keep going.
Um, anyway, so my mom, she just knew that like something was up. She's like, this is not Marissa. Like, this is not who she is. It's not what she does. And so one night, I was just like, you know what? I'm like, I'm tired of, acting out. I'm just going to tell my mom. So I wrote her a note, and it literally was like 4 pages long of it. It had the dates of when it happened. It had how it happened, where it happened, and I just, so my dad. This was on Easter of April of 2020,
Yeah.
and he went to go preach in Lansing, so he was a half hour away from us,
Yeah.
and I was like, Mom, you need to read this now. I was like, while he's not here. And she's all like, what? She's like, I'm not reading. I said, no, you need to read it now.
Wow.
And so she went in the room, and I just sat in my room because I was grounded. So I went and just sat in my room, and I just hear these footsteps, my mom's footsteps coming up the stairs. And she's all like, are you serious? And I was all like, yes. And just the look that I gave my mom, just complete, like, I was terrified. I was just like, yes. And and I'll give props to my mom, she didn't believe me at first
Yeah.
because you were married for 16 years to this man. You don't, she thought that I was just, making up stuff to get out the house because, 17, you can run away, you can do whatever. You're basically an adult. And so she didn't believe me. And so she sat down and we just talked about it. And all of a sudden he comes through the door. And he was supposed to be there. Like,
Oh,
so that's like, oh my gosh.
yeah.
And he came upstairs and like, hey, like, what's going on? My mom was like, she shoved the papers under the bed, like under the covers. And my dad's like, what is that? And my mom's like, oh, it's just like an apology letter. Cause like she's seen my face, like look at her and just shake my head, like, do not show him.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, it's just an apology letter. She's just gonna write it to, to the girl. It's just saying like, sorry for acting out. And he's like, oh, can I read it? And she's like, no, like this is my apology letter. Like you'll get yours later.
Right.
And he's just like, okay. And then my little sister, she had a doctor's appointment an hour later. So my mom had him take her to the doctor's appointment. So that way, and my mom, we just talked about it more and we're like, okay, so this is what's going to happen. You're going to have your phone. I'm going to give you your phone back just for this day. You're going to record it. And then I had a pile of clothes on the floor. She used my sister's phone and called her. So she stuck it in the clothes. So like the speaker was pointed out, but like you still couldn't see it. So she could listen downstairs. So while I was recording, she was still. And when she heard enough of him confessing, then she was just like, then she would come upstairs and stop it. And so,
Wow.
yeah. And then from that day forward, literally that whole day, it was Easter, so they went out to the store. They split in the store. My mom, she told Carly, go pack a bag. She called my grandma, my grandpa, which they live 3 hours away in Dowagiac, and it was all she called them, and they drove all the way up here, and we were downstairs in the basement, and my mom told Carly to go do something upstairs, and my mom eventually got us all when they pulled in the driveway. My mom was like, go, 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 and I will never forget the look on my dad's face. He was just so confused. It sticks with me every day. Like it's just
That's terrifying. Um, in that, I wanna ask a question. Like, uh, I'm an advocate for mental health. I'm an advocate for healing. I'm an advocate for making sure people are in the right spot mentally or getting there. I feel like we're all on a journey. It's a
yeah,
journey. It's a hard journey. Um, one, do you believe that strengthened your relationship with your mom?
absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, it did because you know I just thought in the moment like, okay, I only have one parent now.
Yeah.
Like my mom is my rock. Like she actually believed me, and so yeah, it most definitely strengthened my relationship.
Were you ever in like denial about this? Were you ever like, man, I don't even know. Like, is this really happening?
Yes. So on the car ride back, I'm all like, what did I just do?
Right.
I was just like, is this really like, did I actually tell? Because I kept it for a secret for 2.5 years.
Wow.
I'm like, did I actually, say something out loud? Like it wasn't just in my mind.
Yeah. Shout
And
out to you for that. I feel like if you're listening to this and you've been through any kind of sexual trauma, I'm a believer in you don't have to tell the world, but you should tell somebody.
yeah,
Um, because it might not be your time to tell the world, but if you've got somebody that you're close to that you trust, that's the important thing. Telling somebody you trust
yeah,
is important because you've got to be able to get somebody that's on your side saying, man, I'm gonna support you. I'm gonna guide you through this. I'm gonna like love you in this because I know you're hurting.
yeah,
Because I'm a believer in like that hurts, and
yeah,
that's a long like that's a you're running a long race. This ain't
yeah,
just a 100-meter dash. This is a marathon.
yeah,
Double marathon, triple marathon, 9 marathons in a week marathon. You're like, this is the blisters on your knees marathon. All right, we're done with the marathon. But like one of the things I wanted to ask was, your mental health. Like, do you think that, like, where do you feel like your mental health is at right now because of your story in that?
Um, it definitely is a lot better.
Right.
I try to focus on things that, because some days the memories will just start flooding in,
Yeah.
and you think you get rid of it, but honestly, it's trauma. You're never,
Yeah.
I mean, you can always get rid of it, but a piece of it's always going to be there.
Yeah.
And so, and just like certain things that happen around you always brings you back to that moment,
Mm,
So, I just focus on, my son, trying to get into more reading and stuff like that.
yeah.
And, definitely counseling.
Yeah.
So counseling was a big help.
I'm a believer in
So,
counseling. I'm a believer in it. Um, and that's important. Like dealing with those triggers and stuff too. Like it's easy to run away from stuff like that when
yeah,
you're in that dark, scary part of your life. It's easy to say, I'm getting away from this. I'm not going to let the
yeah.
world know about it. And I want to just shout you out for even have the bravery to say that on a podcast. And so, all right, so y'all left the house.
hmm
You're kind of it's you and Carly at this point, right?
No, it's all of us.
Everybody's
So
with you.
it's me, Carly, Jenna, and then my two little sisters.
Okay.
So,
Wow. And
yeah.
so y'all all in the car. Where do you go? What's happening?
So we go to my grandma's house.
All right.
And literally just that night, like my mom's just thinking like we have to go to the police about this. Um, but like that night, like I just kept twitching. Like my mom's just all like you're having night terrors of this because I still wasn't believing it. And like I just remember the words that my mom said to me. Like she literally just grabbed me by my face. She was all like, "Just know you did not ruin the family."
Wow.
She was all like, "I
Come on.
believe you."
Shout out to your mom.
Shout out to my mom. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, "I believe you." She goes, you protected us all.
Right.
And
Come
so,
on, you protect. That's what we people need to hear when they're in this situation. If you're willing to share it with somebody,
yeah.
you're protecting people.
Yeah.
Because if there's somebody out there that hasn't been like confronted with like that mistake, they're
Yeah.
probably still out there hurting people. And I'm a believer in forgiveness, and I'm a believer in repentance, and I'm a believer in people turning from their ways.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but it's there's also I'm a believer in there's consequences for your actions. And I'm saying that as somebody that's had the consequences for their
Yeah.
actions. Like I've made plenty of mistakes, and I'll share those in other episodes and stuff too. But all right, so y'all are going to the police. What's that look like?
Yep. So my mom and I got up at 5 a.m. that next morning.
Wow.
So we really didn't even sleep, and we drove the 3 hours back, and we went to the police station. We gave them everything that we had, the recording, all of that, and they sent police officers to. So like it was like the office building, and then right next to it was the house. So it was like a few yards away, and they two officers came and helped us just grab stuff out of the house, that like emergency stuff that we needed, because he would be staying at the house. And I guess they grabbed him. I don't know if they had him in a cell the entire time, because his court date wasn't until April. I mean, August.
Okay.
And so
And what time is this? When is this?
this is still the next day, like
Okay.
in April. So I told my mom on Easter, and then this is the next day.
You told her on Easter.
Mm-hmm.
Hallelujah.
I know.
That was crazy. Okay,
But yeah, so we went and they did all that, and then we got the clear to go back home. Like he was gone. Like we're going back home, and then I know my aunt Melissa, she came down and just helped us prepare court stuff. Like what's the next steps, and then August arrives, and
Wow.
I was able to do a victim impactment, like a statement.
Wow.
But I was just too scared to stand up in front of him. Um, and so I didn't do it. I honestly feel like if I were to do it, he would have gotten a longer sentencing.
Wow.
So,
Did you
but
want him to have a longer sentencing?
I did because he only got 6 months.
Wow.
Yeah. So he only got 6 months. He actually did 4 months. He got out 2 months early because of good behavior.
Wow.
So, but, so yeah, so I watched him put handcuffs on him and send him to jail.
Wow.
Yeah. And then from there, During all that, my mom met my stepdad, and then we moved down to South Haven with him.
Yeah.
Um, and then from there, it's been a really wild ride.
Okay. Been a wild ride. Isn't that true for life?
Yeah.
Like you never know what's gonna happen next. Yeah, that's man, like that's impactful, that's powerful. Um, somebody's hearing this right now, and I'm probably gonna get direct messages on Instagram. People are gonna be like, there's like this is what I needed to hear.
hmm
Um, like nobody's been this vulnerable.
Yeah.
Um, and uh somebody's gonna be like, man, I'm being set free right now because of your
Yeah.
vulnerability.
I've always said though too, and this was just myself. I don't see myself as a victim. I see myself as a survivor.
Come on.
So,
Yeah.
and I know a lot of people will be like, "Oh, I'm a victim." No, you were a survivor. You told people,
Yeah.
and I know it's scared. It is very scared because I think about it to this day. I was very very scared, but one day you got to tell someone. You're gonna
Absolutely.
let that sink in, and it's not a good feeling.
Yeah, oh yeah, you have to.
Yeah,
Yeah, you have to tell people. Because if you don't, what's gonna end up happening is it's gonna just like keep evolving.
it's gonna
It's
eat at you.
eat you alive. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Uh, yeah, there was days in my life I was just like, uh, I was just breaking down. I remember I was in ministry and breaking down like day after day. There was days I was just having sleepless nights, and goodness gracious, like I remember I had to. It was like 3 in the morning, and I'm like trying to call my mom and like praying over people, like having people pray over me because it's just you've got these things deep down that you don't want the world to know,
Yeah.
and you're like, if the world knows, what are they going to think about me? Am I going to
hmm
lose opportunities? That's a big thing for me.
Yeah.
I'm terrified to tell people things because I'm scared I'll lose an opportunity. Um, and so, uh, yeah, I remember I called my mom and I was like, Mom, you got to hear this right now. Like, I'm struggling bad. Like, my mind is all over the place. I don't even know where it's at. I don't know why this came back up. This happened when I was,
Yeah.
14, or whatever. But, uh, and yeah, she just saw me through that. And I will talk about this more, but I want to talk about it probably on an episode with my mom. So yeah, she's coming back. My mom will definitely be back on another episode. Um, so yeah, keep giving me more. Give me more some more to this. So your father gets out of prison. You're with your mom. What does your relationship with your mom look like while he's in prison?
It definitely was rocky. So when he got sent to prison, and then we moved down to South Haven with my stepdad, because by the way, the PCG, the church stuff, they
Yeah.
kicked us out of the house
Wow.
because he wasn't the district youth director anymore, and so we literally had like a month left, like to find somewhere to live.
Wow.
So yeah, they definitely were not on our side. They were on his side. They sent out letters to every church saying like my parents were having problems in their marriage. Like they didn't even tell people like what happened. Like I had to post it and say like, no, this is actually what happened. Like he's in jail. Um, and so we get down to South Haven, and it's my 18th birthday. Um, and you know, um, then I meet Lincoln's dad,
Yeah.
and from there, one Sunday I was supposed to be going to church, and I met up with him to have sex.
Yeah.
And my sister told on me.
Oh man, you gotta hate the sister snitching. Which one, Carly?
Yep.
Carly snitching? Dang it, Carly. Carly, if you're listening to this, and I hope you are, snitches get stitches. All right. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna invite you over on an episode, and then guess what? No episode. I'm gonna have a bunch of chihuahuas up in my house, and I'm gonna be like, stick 'em. And then the chihuahuas are gonna just jump all over you or something, and I don't know, bite your knees.
That's very detailed.
Yeah, I don't know. Happens. Just something we did at my house. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I thought you were being serious.
Yeah,
I'm like,
you looked at me like, oh yeah, wow, Wow, you had a tough childhood.
Yeah.
A weird tough childhood, you know? No, we didn't do that. We normally like what we do. I used to I used to get my butt whooped. That's what it was. But I learned parkour when I was getting my butt whooped. It
Did
was
you
like
layer up?
layer. No, 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 no. I was jumping like my dad was like bend over, and I'm like, nah, dude. I would jump over beds. I was doing flips over the place. I made sure I got away. I didn't get away. You still get the whoop.
Yes, you do.
You just every flip you do, that's another lick.
Yep.
So yeah, all right. So you meet Lincoln's dad.
Yep. So when my sister told on me, um, she just had a sit down conversation. Was all like, well, like, did you use protection? Like, did you do all that? And I just thought, like, no. And so then I got in trouble, and like, she just went ballistics.
Your
And
sister did.
no, my mom,
Oh
like,
wow.
she just wasn't having it. And I remember just being in her room with my stepdad, and she was just all like, "This is not what we do in the house." And I remember going off on her. I'm all like, "But you're doing it in the house." I said, "And you're not married." I said, "So what example are you showing?" And she was like, "Get out." And so she kicked me out. And
Wow.
so I grabbed my backpack. I tried to grab my phone because I had my phone back at that time, and she was like, "No, I paid for that. So you're gonna keep it." So I'm like, "I'm gonna keep it." And I was like, "Okay." Well, she didn't know I had my computer in my backpack. And it almost died. So I went outside the house. Thankfully, there was a plug-in outside, so I plugged in my computer real quick and like was texting him like, "Hey, come and get me at this address." And he came and got me, and then we lived in a trailer in Galesburg for a little bit.
Okay.
Yep, until we got an apartment together,
Yeah.
and then from there, just living in sin, just whatever. Got pregnant. Left him the next year, and then I had my son, and he was a stillborn in May of 2021. So that definitely was another like, why God
Yeah.
moment for me.
Angry, I'm sure.
Yes, it was just all like, but at that moment, being 18 and young, like thinking, I definitely was angry at God, but I also was like, this is my punishment
Wow.
for not glorifying you, for leaving the church, for, living in sin. So,
You're sprinting. Yeah. You're like, God. There's moments in my life where I'm like God, I believe in you, but I want to be as far away from you as
yeah.
possible. Because you just get angry and you're like,
Mhm.
man, I'm just bitter at the world right now. Um, and so I get that. All right. So keep going. So you're born, stillborn.
Yep. And he was very cute, by the way. He was very cute. His name was Braylon.
Braylon. Yeah.
Yep. So he definitely was going to be my twin,
Yeah.
although Lincoln is not my twin. So I was very upset about that.
Lincoln's one of a kind. Lincoln's one of
He
those
is
kids.
one of a kind.
He's just special, dude. Lincoln is. We would play. I remember Lincoln and I would play tag and stuff. We would just be running and I love that kid. Dude. Lincoln is a phenomenal kid.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. All right, keep going.
So, my mom was pregnant during that time. So then that next month, she gives birth, and I just remember having such a hard time because I'm just all like, why me? Why do I have to lose my son, but my mom gets to have one?
Yeah.
You know? And so it was definitely a very hard time, but I'm very thankful for my little sister. She is crazy. She is so cute, and I'm just very, very grateful for her. And the Lord definitely knew what He was doing in that aspect, because honestly, she made me heal.
Your sister?
Yes.
Wow.
So with her being a baby and me being there to help around and take care of her,
Yeah.
and I had her a couple nights to myself, and just to help my mom out, and you know any way that I could help, I was there for my mom. I'm like, you rest, you whatever, like I'll help out. And so I think it healed me in that part because I was still taking care of a baby.
Yeah.
But I wasn't thinking like, being a psycho, being like, it's my baby. Yeah, so I wasn't like being a psycho in that
Your
aspect.
mom's not like calling the police, like, where did my baby go? It's like, it's at my house.
No, but then a couple months go by, like that August. Lincoln's dad, he's all like, okay, can we get back together? Like, I've changed, after Braylon and all that. And, 18-year-old me, I'm like, sure, yeah.
Of course. You seem like a very upstanding man.
Yeah. So I'm just, just gullible me. I'm just like, yeah. I'm like, we'll give it one last try.
Yeah.
And I was like, I really want to make it work. And so we go through, and then all the way up to like the middle of September, I'm just like, this is not it. Like, this is not the relationship I want to be in. I'm all like, you are definitely not the person that I want to be with. You don't have the same values as I do. And the Lord is just really trying to speak to me and get to me at this point. And so I tell him, like, I'm leaving. He's like, well, can you stay at least like another week? Me, yeah, of course I will.
1 week. Yeah, that's just 1 week.
So
yeah.
I stayed the rest of the week, and like that whole week, he was just trying different things, like, buttering me up, trying to get me to stay.
Yeah.
But like I had my mindset, like, no, I'm leaving. On Friday, I'm leaving. And so that Friday comes, I leave, and I move in with my sisters. They're still in high school at this time. And then a couple weeks later, I just start feeling weird. I'm all like, this is not me. Like, acid reflux, where the heck did that come from? I've never had that in my day in my life.
Yeah.
And it just dawned on me. I'm like, oh my gosh, am I pregnant?
Wow.
Go take a pregnancy test, and I was pregnant.
Wow.
And that's Lincoln.
Come on.
So, but in that time, I was working a crap ton, saving up money. My mom got a new house, moved in with her. Okay. She worked like early mornings at 4 a.m. And then I worked second. So I would take care of Elia and then my other two sisters while my mom worked. And for a note, my mom has never really worked. I mean, she did, but she cleaned houses on the side.
Okay.
But she was a stay-at-home mom for, 16 years.
Wow.
So for her to be back working, like, I was there to help her most of the time. Like, whatever you need, like, I'm here to help you.
That's a tough dynamic duo.
It is, Wow.
And
now she works from home and loves it.
Okay.
But Lincoln was born. Not even a month later, my mom's just like, hey, I'm moving to South Dakota.
Oh.
What? So.
We're going to have to figure something out.
Yeah. I remember, I didn't even tell her this. I just remember feeling angry because, one, I was mad because my babysitter was gone. And because we had it all set, like, I would watch Elia for her in the morning. She would come home and watch Lincoln, so I would go to work. Like, we had it set.
Right.
Now she's gone. What the heck am I going to do? Lincoln's dad's not involved.
Yeah.
So.
I bet that's one of those, like, God, I'm all alone moments.
Yes. It really was. And it definitely was surreal seeing the house emptied.
Wow.
And I'm just all like, okay, wait, no, this is really, really happening. Like, he's moving you guys across the country. 10 hours.
Yeah. Like, get back here.
Yeah. I remember the very last day, my little sister, she was sitting in the corner, and Lincoln literally was just a month old, and she was just holding him. And it was just, I snapped pictures of it because it was just so precious and special.
I'm sure.
And like, she cried and was like, I don't want to leave him. I don't want to leave him. And I'm just so like, I know, but I mean, you have to go with mom. Like, I can't take care of you. I just had a newborn. You cannot.
Yeah.
So it was.
Unless you can be the babysitter. Listen, you ain't staying with me,
Yeah. So definitely in that, I wasn't angry at my mom. I think I was just angry at my stepdad.
Yeah.
Because he's a narcissist. Yeah. And so he, narcissists take you away from your family.
Which is a pandemic in church leaders.
Yes.
Like, it is, if you don't watch out when you're in ministry, you will become a narcissist.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about narcissists is they don't even hardly know that they're a narcissist. You think so?
He most definitely did, yeah.
Oh, he knew?
Yeah.
Like, he was intentional, like, I'm going to make sure I...
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Oh, most definitely.
I feel like, I don't know, I guess tell me more about that then. I guess I'm interested.
He just... There's a lot of it. He knew what he was doing. He knew just the way that he spoke to my mom and the girls. Like, he knew that he was in control. Like, he knew that he could control them in a certain way.
Right.
So.
Wow. That's that. Yeah, that's dangerous. The manipulation
Yeah.
is wow. It's dangerous for ministry because
Yeah.
what you're gonna do is you're gonna create an avenue where people feel like they need to have you,
Mhm.
um, and they have to like they have to kind of like leech to you so that
Yeah.
they can feel comfortable and they can get that validation of, oh, okay, this leader loves me, now let me keep coming back and I'm gonna do this again, we're gonna
Mhm.
serve and praise God, like
Yeah.
those praise God people. I'm like, okay, buddy, the next time you say praise God, I'm just gonna get more and more pissed off
Yeah.
because I know what you're really doing,
Yep.
and you know what you're really doing, but you're giving glory to God, so it makes it look like you're extra spiritual.
Mhm.
All right, man. Quit looking extra spiritual, All right. So now you have Lincoln.
Mhm.
Lincoln, how is he? He's two, right? Or three or four or five.
He's 2 now. Yep, he'll be
Okay.
3 this year.
Okay. When does he turn three?
June 6th.
June 6th. Okay, yeah, you told me that earlier. All right, so he's three in June on June 6th. Um, where do you feel like you and his relationship looks like? You as a mom, like a single mom, what does that look like now?
I'm literally Lincoln's best friend.
Yeah.
And he's mine. Like I'm all that Lincoln has besides like, Carly, his CC.
Yeah.
We FaceTime Gammy and she comes down once a year, and then my grandma and grandpa.
Wow.
Like, but I'm all that Lincoln has. I mean, and then his aunts and cousins and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But if we're talking like parent wise, I'm all that he has.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that has paid any toll on him, or do you feel like he's just like, man, I'm living the best life. Here we
Um,
go.
Now that he's getting older, he did see his dad on Christmas.
Wow.
And that was just because his dad just ended up showing up.
Wow.
And literally every single night since that, he literally is, I miss dad.
Wow.
And it has broke my heart. Like where I'm crying to bed, like crying myself to sleep.
That's tough.
Because my son is 2 and he's realizing that his dad's not there.
Yeah.
And he's 2.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to know that, you
No.
know?
And so, but I'm just so like, you know what? In the end, like Lincoln's gonna know who was there for him and not,
Oh, absolutely.
So,
He'll see that and he'll be like, man, my relationship with my mom is super tight.
absolutely.
That's how my relationship with my mom is so tight because we've been through it,
Yeah, yeah,
And I love my mom, and I feel like Lincoln's gonna grow up and be like, man, my mom is, she's I've seen her flaws, but she's still like she still holds that just like I've got this deep intentional love with her.
yeah,
And I don't even know if hero is the right word. I feel like a lot of people say like, oh yeah, my parents are my hero, uh, and that's good, Like yeah, my mom could be my hero, but heroes they always look like they don't have ever done anything
yeah.
wrong. So okay, so what is so now you've had Lincoln, um, he's two. How do you like? What kind of healing has that done for you as a human being? Not even just as a mother, but as a human being, like having a kid and watching them grow up. What has that done for
That
you?
definitely has healed my inner child.
Yeah,
Because I didn't really. I mean, I had a childhood, but I worked a lot, so I
right.
really didn't get to enjoy it, and I had to grow up super fast.
Yeah.
So, like the other day, we were watching The Backyardigans,
Come on.
and I was just all like, and he was watching it, and I was just like,
Yeah.
this is literally healing my inner child.
Yeah.
And so it heals me, and like I've always known that I was gonna be a mom. I just didn't know I was gonna be a young mom.
Yeah.
And so just seeing me, and I've done a pretty darn good job.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you have. I feel like you've done a great job. So you're watching the Backyardigans. That's an older show.
It
A
is.
little bit older show. Did you watch that growing up?
I did.
Okay. Do you feel like this question just sparked on me? Do you feel like going back to things that you did as a kid is healing?
Absolutely.
Would you say that's something that people that are searching for maybe like, man, I'm currently in the healing process. I've gotten a few steps in and like I've got a group of people surrounding me. Like, do you feel like that's something that they should start doing?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah, even like I started doing things that I used to do as a kid. I dance in my living room.
Come
I
on.
would set up my phone at 2-3 o'clock in the morning and start
Yeah.
recording random stuff. Me and Carly, we did that. My little camera. I still have the camera,
Wow.
and we would just sit and record and just 3 a.m. trying to be quiet. Parents don't hear us. You know, just start doing
Yeah.
stuff that just brought you back to your childhood that was, you know, healing to you.
Yeah.
You know, that just made it fun.
That is good. I feel like we as adults, we forget to have fun,
Yes.
and you get so caught up in life, and you're like, who am I? And you
Yeah.
forget who you even are. You're just like, here I am at work, boom, boom,
Yep.
boom.
Especially as a parent, I always,
Yeah.
you know, I always forget to live. You know, like I'm always at home. And like my best friend just turned 21. So like now we can actually go out, you know? But
Yeah.
it's just like even before then, it's just like I always had Lincoln. So
Yeah.
I never got to go out by myself.
Wow.
So
That's crazy. That's tough. So your best friend's 21. They're like, what is your relationship with your best friend look like? Has that been just like, is that just fun for you now? Did you know him when you were growing up, like with your
no.
mom? Okay, so you just met him.
Yeah. So actually when I was with Lincoln's dad,
Okay.
one of his good friends, it was his girlfriend.
Okay.
And so we went to a party together.
Nice.
And then she got off work and went there and introduced us, and here we are going into 5 years
Wow.
being friends. So
That's incredible. Oh, so y'all been friends since like COVID time.
yeah. Well, it would be like September of like
2020.
so this September would be 5 years.
Okay. Okay.
So
Wow. That's crazy.
But yeah.
Okay. So y'all have been friends. Like if y'all gotten like have y'all ever been able to have like these conversations where it's like, man, we're getting deep. We're having
oh yeah, all the time. Like
that's a real best friend.
we
then.
FaceTime. We fought and haven't been friends.
Really?
And I'm just all like, if you have never been in a big fight with your best friend, you guys are not best friends.
Oh yeah.
You're not friends.
Yeah.
And we've done it so many times, but in the end, like we realized, like, hey, I'm sorry. Like
That's good.
what we were fighting about was stupid. Absolutely stupid.
It's like, why'd you leave a crumb on my carpet?
Our last fight was so Lincoln has really bad sinuses like I do, and so it will turn his snot green, but he's not sick.
Yeah.
And she took a picture of it. It was all like, hey, your son has a green nose and now my daughter's sick. And I'm like, Lincoln's not sick though.
Yeah.
Like that's sinuses. And we just went off. I'm just like, okay, whatever. And then
She was angry.
like 2 weeks later, we're like, bro, that was just so stupid. We're like, okay.
Fighting over snot.
Literally.
This is just nasty.
Yeah.
It's not even. Yeah, that's.
But no, my relationship with her has definitely has grown. You know, we talked about the ins and outs. We actually lived together in my mom's house when my mom moved out. So we lived together for like 6 months.
Did she have a kid at this time or no?
No, she didn't. Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Wow.
And then when we moved out, you know, she moved in with her grandparents and then got pregnant then. And now she has little Zaza.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome. So you've told me kind of in the past that you've got a passion for kids.
I do.
And I love that. Hearing your story now, you're like, it's like it's evolved into that. Like God was like had his hand on it, and He's like,
absolutely.
Yeah, now I know what you're gonna do with your life. You know. So you've got a passion for kids. What does that look like?
Well, backstory is growing up in church, youth camps, and all that. I have been prophesied over 3 times in all different places throughout the 4 years that they saw me running in the field with kids. So I just took that as like, okay, maybe it's the kids, you know, or it could have been me having a lot of kids.
Right.
No, thank you. But
you're like, Lincoln's enough.
Right now, yes, I said I'm one and done. But I mean, I have to be one and done. I'm not married, so.
Right.
But yeah, so I definitely am taking that and, you know, going forward with that as one day I want to be a kids pastor. And so.
Come on.
Yeah, so I currently serving kids.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love it. You know, the kids love me.
Yeah.
And they listen very well when I'm teaching and listening, and you know, they listen very well.
I love that you said teaching and listening.
I know.
That's good. No, well, that's
I was like, I'm messing up.
Oh, well, I think that's important though. Like you might have said it unintentionally, but I feel like it's true too. To be a good teacher, you have to be a great listener.
Yeah.
And some of the best teachers I ever had were ones that were willing to sit down with me and hear what I had to say. things that were happening in my life,
Yeah.
and they just cared about me. And I think that's what's going to take what it takes to be a good children's pastor. Um, not that I know everything. Not that I'm like, these are the 12 steps of becoming a children's
Yeah.
pastor. No, I don't. I don't really have
I'm on step 0.
those. No, you're getting there. I think you're getting there. And yeah, I think that that's important. So listening and teaching and listening,
Yeah.
they go hand in hand. They go hand in hand. It makes your teaching more valuable when you listen.
No, it really does.
All right. Yeah. What were you saying? Keep going. I think I cut you off. Maybe not.
I have no idea.
All right. Here we go. So you've been prophesied over 3 times. You want to be a children's pastor.
Yep.
Let's see. So you're 22 years old.
Yep.
What like do you have like where do you work now? Is this your final career? Like is it you?
No. So I work in a nursing home and I do activities. So I do activities.
Also, like bingo. You like setting up bingo for them?
I actually have a shirt. It's all like I am like a loving multitasker and a bingo caller.
Oh,
So,
you call bingo?
I do call bingo.
Do they let it out? Do they open it up to the public?
No, it's just the residents
Bummer.
and like whoever, like their spouses or family members who come.
Also,
So-
like maybe I could like become a spouse to one of the people there.
Aaron.
Hey, I'm just saying, it's been on my bucket list to play bingo.
Listen, there's a place in South Bend, and I've been wanting to go. So I think it's like
let's play
$25 for like a stack of cards, and then
Okay.
you could win that back or more.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
So, but I love bingo. Like I wish I was the one playing, not calling the numbers. So
do they win anything there?
yeah, so we have a cart set up, and
Okay.
there's like chocolates, food, and then like the bottom is just like necessities, toothpaste, shampoos,
Yeah.
all of that, and then on the sides is just like like clothing protectors for them eating. So
Oh, so
and
they
then-
get a clothing protector?
they can if they want it.
You can win a clothing protector.
You would be surprised at how many people want a clothing protector to protect their clothes when they eat. It's a nursing home, Aaron.
I guess so. I wouldn't want my mashed peas to get on my nice clothes so that all the other old people would see it.
They don't care there.
Yeah.
Anyways,
That's crazy.
but yeah, so I call it, and then whoever wins, there's 2 winners each round. Yep, and then you go, and after each round, you call bingo.
2 winners.
Yep, so you can get 2 bingo callers.
Wow. Okay. All right. That
That-
sounds like some terrible winning items.
No,
It sounds like things that are. You get a collar, a little shirt collar to not get stuff all over you. No, I wasn't saying you were a terrible.
oh, I thought you.
I'm not saying you're a terrible color. I'm saying that the winnings,
Oh,
like the things you can win, are terrible.
no, not really. Like there's toothpaste.
Yeah, so that's terrible.
No, it's not.
No,
Body wash.
uh,
There is like some like word search books.
Right, but I'm not planning on marrying nobody in the nursing home now because I don't need. I could get my own toothpaste. You know, I ain't that down deep. Yeah. Okay.
You have to
And-
buy it.
I get it. I guess I could be. I'd probably get a good inheritance, I guess, if I did. Maybe I shouldn't say that. I said it.
It's
out
there.
It's out there.
Yep.
No, I'm not even. I don't really.
But yeah, that's definitely. I'm still like asking myself like, what do I really want to do? Because I know I want to do something in healthcare.
Yeah.
But I was talking with my grandpa, and I was like, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know if I want to, finish this application and go into radiology and just start it, or nursing school, or
That's smart.
if I should do relevant leadership college and pursue kids ministry.
Hey, come on.
I
Do
feel
some
like-
relevant leadership college.
Yes.
Come
I
on.
said I feel like definitely like if I went to relevant leadership college, it definitely would direct me in the right path of how to become a kids pastor and stuff like that. And so my grandpa was like, well, you just asked your own question.
Oh, yeah, that's the way to do it.
And I was just like, oh, you answered your own question. That's what
Yeah,
he said.
sure. Yeah, I knew what you were saying.
And I was just all like, oh, I was like, I really did. So I guess it's relevant leadership college, which I need to put in my application. But
Yeah, you do.
yeah, so
I would love to be in class with you. There's a lot of fun people in the class.
I'm going to go for the fall.
Okay.
So I'm going to put in my application, and you know, I really feel like that would just benefit me so
Yeah.
much. So
Yeah, that would be awesome. I would I've learned a lot. Like I think the discipline is the thing that's the beautiful
yeah,
thing about the classes. It's like we we can there's so much you can learn in the
yeah,
classes, but um like putting that discipline behind it, it's like, okay, now it becomes important to me because like I'm gonna get it done.
yeah,
It's like I don't even know. I guess leadership does require discipline, you know.
yeah.
So
I think that's just where I'm struggling too, because I I'm having like, it's not I'm having a hard time. It's just I don't like reading, and
hallelujah. Same.
so
I don't
I
even
have a
think
hard time
Jesus
reading my
liked it.
I have a hard time reading my Bible.
Yeah, I
And
get
so
that.
that's where, in the aspect of my life where I'm struggling,
Mm,
is reading my Bible. And
yeah.
like my boss was just all like, well, because she's a Christian too, and she's like, well, you could have the Bible app read to you, but I comprehend it. I
Right.
can't. I said I have to physically read it, but I don't like to read.
Yeah, I get
And
that.
it's not like because it's the Bible, like you have to. No, I want to read the Bible.
Yeah.
I just get bored very easily. I'm
Right.
just not a book reader.
Yeah, and it's I think it's important. People are like, some people always say like, man, you got to read the New King James version,
Yeah.
and I'm like, all right, but you're not gonna like. Some people aren't gonna get anything out of
No.
that. Like, if I read the New King James version, I didn't read anything, you
Yeah.
know. So,
That's what our private school was based, because I went to a Baptist private school.
oh, okay,
And so they did the King James version, New King James version. So I'm
well,
so like, thou,
yeah,
thy, like what?
they're just making up words. I'm like, okay, like you turn Christianese into Christian bother me's, you
Yeah.
know. But yeah, so yeah, I'm the same way. I think that it's important to find like your type the way that you can be able to understand and read, and then you get into what that is. You read that way. You read that text or that translation or whatever.
Yeah.
Uh, I got a lot of buddies that read like the Passion Translation. That's a super easy way to read. And I'm not even. That's like I'm saying this like I'm great at reading my Bible all the time. Like that's a challenge. It's a challenge because it's like sometimes you're like, man, I would much rather somebody tell me the story.
Yeah.
That's how if somebody is able to just like create the story in a way I can picture it in my head, that's what I do best with. And so sometimes it is tough to read these
Yeah.
like poems and stuff in the Bible,
Hmm.
or you get into these laws and stuff, and I'm like, all right, but where's the story in this? And there
Yeah.
is a story to it, but you got to get into it. So yeah, that's tough. So what does your faith look like?
Um, so it's definitely is much stronger than it has been. I have never said this out loud to anyone. I actually just told Carly yesterday.
Okay.
Um, but my faith it has been, it's, I don't know how to put it, because it's been good, but also it hasn't. Like it's, um, last October of 2024, um, I stopped with pornography and celibacy. So, um, and that was all while I was serving in church. You know, you never
Yeah.
know what someone's going through.
People are good at putting masks on.
They are. And I hid that very well. And I just remember the last time I did it, like the Lord was like, "What are you doing?" And I'm just all like, I don't know. Like I have this addiction, I don't know how to stop. And I've had this addiction since I was 8 years old.
Yeah.
So it's been very, very young. And I just remember, just sitting in there. I went home and I cried. I think it was like 4 a.m. I didn't even get any sleep that night. And I was just crying, reading my Bible, worshiping. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm like, I'm trying to do better. And I don't even remember just how it happened. I just stopped. I'm just all like, I don't know if it's just because I've been worshiping, and trying to read my Bible, or and listening to more podcasts and stuff like that, where it literally just, even if I watch a movie and it has a sex scene in it, I immediately turn it off. Like I don't want
Yeah.
no part in that.
Yeah.
And so, and even if we're having a topic about it, I don't. I don't want to listen to it, you know. And even if I have like the slightest like I want to click on it, I put my phone away and I do something active.
Come on.
You know, you have to replace it with something.
You do.
And that's definitely what I've done. And so definitely, and then Heart and Soul Night, you know, just giving it all. And then every Sunday just showing up and showing out.
Yeah.
You know, you have to replace that with something, and that's definitely what I've done.
Wow, that's good.
So
You mentioned Heart and Soul Night. I'm going to kind of emphasize this for what the listeners is, or that are hearing this that might not know what it is. Heart and Soul Night's like this deep worship night that we have at our church. And people that are listening to this and have like heard some of the episodes with people that I go to church with, like what we say this church is like, the way we make this church out to be is exactly how it is. It's amazing.
yes.
If you're going to get deep, you're going to have a lot of fun. It's going to be worship filled.
It's gonna be real.
Real. Come on, real. But yeah, the heart and soul is like just purebred worship that you can just worship how you need to. And that's good. Yeah, so continue. What, I don't know if I cut you off. Keep going.
No, you're right. Just replace it with something. And you know, worshiping with my baby. You know,
Wow.
that has really impacted my faith. As you know, being a mom, always has been a passion to raise my babies in church.
Yeah.
And so
Your kid's a worshiper too.
he loves it.
Yeah. You can
We
see.
would just sit on the couch and he's doing his hallelujah, hallelujah, and
Hallelujah.
he'll raise his hand when it's like God,
Yeah.
you know.
I love
But
that.
that's why like every Sunday that I go, because my job I have to work every other weekend, so I'm missing Sundays. Don't want to, but you know it is what it is.
Yeah.
And I serve for service and I sit the second, but I always bring him in that worship because I want him to experience and look at the other people worshiping and know that what it's like to worship.
Yeah, that's cool.
And so I want him to be surrounded by that.
Yeah.
You know, just raising your babies in church. That's what it's about. You know,
That's awesome.
they see the kids side, but they also are growing up and seeing what the adults are doing.
Wow.
And so
That's impactful. That's beautiful. I think your story is incredible. Do you have any other like final thoughts before we close this thing out?
Yes. So the single moms, not even just single moms, just
Yeah.
ones who have kids, who are bringing their babies to church, don't feel bad. Just do it.
Come on.
Because you never know how much impact it's going to have in your life, especially if you go to Relevant Church. Like Relevant Church was the very first church that I went to that I felt that I didn't feel judged for having a kid outside of marriage. And P-Lou,
churches need to step up, by the way.
Yeah. No, they really do.
Yeah.
Because I was church hopping and trying to find the church that fit, and just the looks on their faces when I walk in. They didn't see no ring, no nothing. It was just me. And I immediately was like, nope, walked out the door.
Yeah.
And I went to Relevant Church and just smiles, welcome home.
Yeah.
And I was just like, no, this is my church. And we've gone there. March will hit 2 years.
Wow.
And so, but just don't be, just bring them to church. Don't feel bad for, having a kid outside of marriage.
Wow.
That's
beautiful. Yeah. Thank you for coming on this episode.
You're welcome.
You're an awesome person. Lincoln's an awesome kid.
Thank you.
I'm excited for the day that you become a children's pastor.
I'm so looking forward to it.
Come on. You're going to do it. You're going to do it well too.
Thank you.
Yeah, this has been a great episode. So thank you for coming on. This is the Love Works podcast. This was an awesome episode with my friend Marissa Gibson. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. I love you a bunch. Peace out.